it's Barbara Sue at Kowalski Mountain. Welcome back to our channel. I am the creator of the blog KowalskiMountain.com, and we're happy that you're here. Now today I'm going to be doing a little bit of sewing. So I ordered 10 yards of waterproof camouflage material. Now this fabric is really thick and it's probably going to be a pain to sew on, but it's definitely a nice quality fabric. I'm not an affiliate for the company, but I will put a link in the description box of where I was able to purchase this waterproof camouflage fabric. Now what I'm doing is Philip uses stands that he hunts from in the woods, and they're mounted up in the trees, different places, so that he can get a good view of where the deer are at. And unfortunately, we have left the cushions to those stands out year-round. Now, some years we're good about pulling them out of the woods, but you all know that we are only at Kentucky for a very short time, and sometimes you just run out of time. And unfortunately, the cushions to the stands have not been on the priority list, and they have been left in the woods for much too long. And it looks like a squirrel got a hold of this one, and so I'm going to fix it. Now the bottom of this cushion is just fine, so I'm not going to be doing anything to that. But this piece I'm going to replace. I went ahead and ordered 10 yards of fabric because repairing these cushions is probably going to be part of our regular maintenance as the cushions age and degrade in the sun. Now this fabric also has a UV rating for 500 hours, which is really not that very long, but it does have some protection from the sun. So come along today while I create 2 new cushions for our hunt stands, and I'm going to show you how I do it. Now the back of the hunting cushion, Philip wants to be rigid. I originally went to the store to buy a replacement cushion that was soft and also made for outdoor use, and he said no way. He needed something firm. So we are using a scrap piece of insulation as the inside back. So now I need to create the cover to cover this. I'm just really pleased with this fabric. It's a really heavy duty fabric, and I mean, you can hear the thickness. It was a super good price. I'm so tempted to go order more, just because I know we're going to use stuff like this. Now the challenge of working in an RV is I don't have very much space for a big project. I'm trying not to unroll all the fabric, because you know it'll never roll back the same. But I wanted to cut my length this way because it would best use the fabric and not have this weird cut on it, except that would not follow the pattern. Now, does it really matter if it follows the pattern? Probably not. But I want it to because I want it to look good when it's done too. So I definitely think I'm going to cut it so that the pattern will be able to be correct in the way that it's directional on the pad. So I've got to rethink what I'm doing. Now, if you've never used a cutting mat before, it has a grid on it, and so I want to line up my edge of my fabric to one of the lines, and I also want to line up my top. That's why I cut it straight at the top, so I would have a straight edge to line up, and then you line it up and then you cut it. My table's not big enough, so if it wasn't so hard to move, I'd move to the floor. But we're going to make this work. So the first thing I need to do is line up my fabric. And now that I have a straight edge, I'm lining up a little bit easier. I'm lined up here. And I grew up with the motto, measure twice, cut once, so I think I'm good, but let's check again. I need 24.5 inches. And I started 1 inch in, so we need to go to 25.5. I line up my 25. I line up my 25. I check my measurement again. And then using my rotary cutter, I make my cut. We're going to check to make sure it fits before I sew. It's going to be a perfect fit. Now, threading the machine was a lot easier when I could see better. not too bad. Now normally I would iron at this point. I'm not sure if I can iron this fabric, so I'm not going to. Now I'm using a pencil to push my corners out so that I get them as square as I possibly can. I was using the eraser, but I've switched to the point because that's allowing me to push the point out all the way. Now the reason this is important is because I'm going to fold this down and make a channel to put elastic through, and that's what holds this up to the tree. So it's going to be folded down and have that channel. So I want that to be as square as possible. So I'm measuring my channel at the top at 1 inch. And I'm going to pin that. And I'm trying to flatten my seam as much as I can as I pin so that it lays nice and flat. Now I'm going to be sewing very close to that edge. And my machine, I've had it serviced actually recently, and it still makes really tiny stitches. And so that actually will come into my favor here because the tiny stitches are going to really be nice to hold this down. My pencil is about as wide as my cable that's going to go in here, and you can see that that's going to fit nicely. It's got a little room to help me work it through, but not too much. It's all pinned, time to sew it. This corner is going to be really rough because it's really thick. I might need to hand stitch that whole corner. I bent my needle. I don't know if I have another one. Ah, I do. Now, if you've never heard this motto, may I be the first to tell you that your seam ripper is your friend. And it never seems like a friend because no one likes ripping their seams, but it is. Let's try again. Finished it. Now this does not look very pretty, but it's only for a hunting stand, so pretty is not required. Cable should fit in there fine. Now we're going to go to the bottom. Now we actually need to go ahead and put the foam inside. Could have made it a little less tight, but I wanted it to be very fitted. There we go. I need to fold this top edge in so that I can sew it. I really wanted this to be a little longer. I'm going to cut an inch off this board. Not even an inch. But now I've got a little wiggle room. I'm happier with that. I don't think Philip will miss that. He'll notice, but he won't miss it. Now I'm trying to maintain the waterproof qualities of this fabric by making sure that my seams are all tucked in, my seams are all sewed, because I want this to last, and it's going to be in the weather. Now I'm tucking that in about 1/4 of an inch. And I'm pinning it. And I'm just eyeballing it. I'm not measuring that. And I did both of my corners to start, and then I worked together in the middle. There we go. The corners are really thick, and the machine really struggles with it. I broke another needle. So now I am going to just pin this because I want to get my straight edge. Now once I have it straight, I'm going to rework the other piece to fit into it, but I want my edges to be sewn in over here. Now, if you've ever hand sewed, this is not actually a correct sewing technique. But I can't, the fabric is too heavy to do a proper technique, so I'm having to do it differently. Well, there it is. I still need to add the stuff at the top, but there it is. Usable again, and it looks great. Fits good, nice and tight. Hand sewing was not pleasant, but it is done. Philip should get years more use out of this cushion. So this is the elastic that's going to go on here. Cut it a little bit longer because I need Philip to be able to put these hooks on it. I'm going to let him do that at the end. I'm just going to thread this up. I'm going to see if it'll do it without making me use a pin. It looks like it will. Yeah, it's going to get stuck. Ah, it's right here at the end. So let's open that opening a little bit. And there it is. I will let Philip put the clips on the end. He can use the old clips from the old seat, and then this will be ready for the tree. Well, friends, thank you for watching and thank you for sewing with me. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, hit that button. We're trying to reach our goal of 1,000 subscribers, and we appreciate every single one of you. Thanks for subscribing. We'll see you later.